He walked into McDonald's like he was ordering a burger. But under his hoodie, he had a fake gun. Hours later, he did it again. This time at Walgreens. The cameras caught it all. But when detectives sat him down, what he said made the hairs on their arms stand up. This isn't just about fast food and pharmacy cash drawers. It's a story of addiction, pressure, and a man spiraling out of control. Scott Tolliver, known on the streets as Scott Tolliver, was 32 years old. His life had been defined by drugs, arrests, and time behind bars. In April 2022, he had just gotten out of prison and was trying to start over, but meth wouldn't let him go. Living out of motels in Madison, Wisconsin, Scott was broke, paranoid, and convinced he was in danger. He later claimed someone was threatening him. Whether that was real or meth-fueled delusion, no one knows for sure. On April 15th, just before midnight, Scott walked into a McDonald's on East Washington Avenue. He wasn't there for food. Wearing a hoodie and ski mask, he pulled out what looked like a gun and slipped behind the counter. He didn't shout. He didn't hurt anyone. He simply whispered, "I need the money." The employees froze. Some thought it was a joke. Until he made it clear he wasn't playing. He took the cash and left quickly. Surveillance footage captured the entire thing. Still, the amount stolen wasn't huge. A few hours later, Scott hit again. This time, it was a Walgreens nearby. He entered wearing different clothes, but his body language and movements matched the earlier robbery. This time, the cashier clearly saw the weapon, or what appeared to be one. Scott made them empty the register. His voice was low, controlled, almost polite. Police were already connecting the dots. A man matching his build had been spotted nearby, and witnesses described the same odd calmness in his tone. When they tracked him to a hotel, they found clothing from both robberies, an ABV gun that looked nearly identical to a real handgun. Scott was arrested without incident. Then came the interrogation. He sat in a small gray room, hunched forward, hands fidgeting. He looked tired, distant. The detective leaned in and said, "We have you on camera. We know it was you. Talk to us." Scott mumbled. He said he didn't want to scare anyone. He said the gun was fake. He owed money to a dealer, and this was the only way to stay alive. According to him, he wasn't thinking clearly. He said he gave the money away, that none of it mattered. The detective asked again, "Why Walgreens? Why McDonald's?" Scott looked up, his voice flat. "I was scared, and they were open." But as the questioning continued, things got strange. He began contradicting himself. At times, he claimed he didn't remember doing it. At other times, he said he knew it was wrong but felt nothing. "You ever been so desperate," he asked, "that you stopped feeling human?" There were no outbursts, no anger, just numbness. Psychologists later described Scott as emotionally detached. Someone who didn't act out of rage, but out of necessity, like turning a key in a lock. He wasn't driven by violence, but by survival. And meth, they said, had stripped him of whatever emotion he once had. The court didn't see him as a victim. He was charged with 2 counts of armed robbery in federal court. Even though the gun was fake, the fear he caused was very real. The judge called his actions deliberate and dangerous. Scott was sentenced to 7 years in federal prison. No one was hurt, but the emotional damage stayed with the victims. One Walgreens employee later said she still double-checks every customer's hands when they walk in, no matter what time of day. What drives a man to rob 2 places in one night? Was it just addiction? Was it pressure? Or had something inside Scott broken long before he picked up that BB gun? Sometimes, the most dangerous criminals aren't the loud ones. They're the ones who look you in the eye and feel absolutely nothing. If you found this case chilling, subscribe to Crimson Whispers for more deep-dive true crime breakdowns, and let us know in the comments, was Scott a desperate addict or a cold, calculated criminal?